Good morning. It helps to turn on the microphone
Good
here. Um,
morning.
don't no music, no nothing. Let's just jump right into it, Sherry.
All right.
How's your day going so far? We're in Aurora. I woke up thinking I was in Phoenix. I'm on my way to Vegas, back to the WSOP.
What happened to
Hopefully, we'll
Denver,
see.
dude?
I'm in Denver. I thought I was in in
You have me
Phoenix.
so confused. I'm sitting here doing this research for the show this morning. I'm like, what is he talking about? Phoenix? And it is way too much for me this morning.
So I woke up, I was thinking about going to Phoenix, and then all of a sudden I thought I was in Phoenix, and then I thought I was late to the show. It's been quite the
Uh,
morning.
do you want to
That's too
co-host?
funny.
Do you want to co-host me before
Oh,
we get started? So if some
oh
folks
yeah,
come,
yeah, that would be good.
I can.
Good morning, Donna.
Hey,
Thoroughly
Donna.
enjoyed your story time yesterday. Got to order the book. I got to order the book, so I'm ready for next week. So that will be a lot of fun. I was uh, really, uh, really touched that a lot of people showed up. I mean, that was a pretty good crowd, and people that stuck around for the whole time and all of that. It was really neat. So,
It was
uh,
awesome.
all right, so we're on day 18 of the WSOP.
Whoop, whoop.
The schedule for today and the next few days at 10 a.m. Is going to be well, I'm sorry, I think it's just today and tomorrow. We're going to have flight A and B of the Monster Stack, but we'll get to that. 10 a.m. today is flight A of the Monster Stack. And then 10 a.m. also is day 2 of the 2000 No Limit Hold'em. And then starting at 12 is the $1,500 PLO day 3. 1 p.m. is day 2 of the 10K limit deuce to 7 triple draw low ball. That is quite the name there. Morning, Necky. Good to see you, my friend. It was great meeting you. I want to spend more time with you if you're up there still. When I get back, I don't know if you headed home yet, but good to see you, my friend. So 1 p.m. is the 10K deuce to 7 day 2 of the. I'm sorry. Let me go back and start this over. 1 p.m. is day 2 of the 10K limit deuce to 7 triple draw low ball event. You got that, Jerry?
Yep. Keep on
Uh,
going, guy.
the 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. day 3 of the 3K9 game mix. Then at 2 p.m. is the high roller for today is the 250K. That should be pretty cheap there. Wondering if Negreanu will fire 2 bullets in that. We'll have to see. I think he's in another event though too, still, so that might impact things. Day 4 of the 10K Raz will be at 3 o'clock, and then the day 3 of the 10K No Limit Secret Bounty event will get kicked off at 4 o'clock today. So that's what we got going on for bracelet events. Did you want to dive into the
Sure.
non-bracelet around town kind of
Oh,
schedule?
well, I don't have the non-bracelets for today,
I could do the
but I was going to go into the things that happened yesterday.
oh yeah, we can do that first. Sounds great.
Okay. Event 33 was the 10K Raz, coming back with 54 players, and it's whittled down to 3 players remaining going into today. The final 3 are Jerry Wong with a chip stack lead of 3,025,000 in chips. Michael Monchik has 2.7 million, and Carlos Shahad, no, Chahad, I think Chahad is 1.5 million in chips. So somebody's going to be crowned a bracelet winner and take home $298,682 in that event. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, and this one, the one to watch is Michael Monsek. I'm interested to see when we get to the Player of the Year where he's at in those points because he also won the event number 6, the 5K mixed no limit hold'em pot limit Omaha event.
Right,
So
right now he's in sixth place on that Player of the Year list. So
wow.
this
So
is going to catapult him right to the head of the class, I'd imagine.
yeah, and Nick Schulman going out 11th. That's got to get him some points for this. I don't know when they update when the event's over or when per player best. Probably.
They were doing a daily in the middle of the night kind of thing, but then the last few days they didn't update it. And then this morning I had actually printed it, and then I went back to check something, and I was like, wait a minute, they just updated it from the time I printed it to the time I went back to look at something, so I had to reprint it.
And
So
I I can't wait to see that with these guys, pretty well known guys getting multiple deep runs here
right. Well, we'll get to that in a
with
minute.
that. So
We'll
I'm
get to
really
that in
really
a minute.
excited. I can't wait, Sherry. Come on.
I know
No, I'm
you're,
just kidding.
did you take your meds this morning, dude? It's too
Oh,
early for
that's the
this.
problem. No, no meds. Oh, we're flying blind.
Oh God. Look, there's wine. Where? What? Event number 34, the 1500 pot limit Omaha. Started the day with 98 remaining out of the 1,355 entries. There are 10 going into today. Um, I'd like to consider this gentleman who's in first place a friend. Got to meet him last year with some other friends, and that's Robert Mizraki. Has 5,680,000 in chips. In second place of chip stacks is Matthew Bennon, or is it Brennan? Has
Brennan, yeah.
5.1 million in chips, so not too far behind. And in third place is Matthew Perry with 4.1 million in chips. So there's a lot of poker to be had, and you know it's going to be interesting to see where all this plays out. And of course, Robert is a multi bracelet winner, and he released a book during the WSOP last year. Getting Started with Horse Poker is the title of the book, and I'll put it in the chat. And he wrote that with his brother Michael the Grinder and with Chris Wallace. So that's just some notables. You have any comments on that one?
Yeah, I haven't played with Rob much, but I'll tell you, Michael is just tough. Like that guy, he's constant pressure, and he's very good at reading people, and so you really have your hands full. But Rob, man, 8.8 million in career cashes. So like,
Right.
I didn't realize. I knew. I mean, obviously, I knew he had a lot of cashes and stuff. Four-time bracelet winner. So, but I didn't realize it was that high. So that's cool.
Yep.
Josh Arieh busted in that event in 13th, so that'll get him some decent points for POI,
Right.
and he should be moving up the leaderboard as well.
Right on. Event number 35, the 10,000 Secret Bounty No Limit Tournament. Started the day with 8 remaining out of 568. And I'm sorry, um, I just
Who, the chip
lost.
leader? Chris
Oh, the chip
Klodnicki?
leader. Oh, you know what? I don't have that update. Go ahead.
So the 10K, it's the 10K secret bounty is what you're doing, right?
Right. Why do I
Uh,
have RM? I have
yeah.
somebody different than you do for the. Go ahead.
Maybe I'm on the wrong. No,
Okay,
I'm on the
double.
right one. I'm on
Okay,
the
go
right one.
ahead.
8 players left, 142 entered, and Chris Klodnicki is your chip leader with 6.6 million. He has he's no stranger there with 10 million in career live earnings. Jeremy Osmus in second, again, just a killer, obviously, and throughout the field, a lot of tough names left throughout the final 8, I should say.
Well,
And
it's so funny because the normally it goes in chip stack sizes, but for some reason this list just is, all of the
yeah,
8 names. I'm not sure what
yeah, I've
happened, but
done
that's
that.
okay.
I know
Uh,
exactly where you are because I've done that. If you're on the update page and you
yeah,
look at the table, it's going to show you kind
Yeah,
of like
but
what their seat order is there for the final
yeah.
table. I think that's what you probably did.
Yeah, I probably clicked on it. And we need to mention that first place winner, besides getting that amazing bracelet, is going to get $733,317. Hello.
Yeah, and the top, Chris is obviously in first, but with 6.6, but you know, uh, fourth place, 4 million or so. So obviously, there, Tracy with 1.8 million in chips there is on the short stack. So want to look at the payouts here on this event. 733,000 for first. Hopefully, remember the other day they put in the they put
Right.
in the entire prize pool into number one and then just distribute it back. 453K for second. All players left. I think there's 8 left. 73,000. Oh,
Guaranteed.
yeah, 73,000 guaranteed. So
Awesome.
quite the jump. When you make that final table share, you got to get down to first. There's so much money on the line.
I know that's right.
Gotta make that happen.
Gotta thank D Negs for making that top heavy nonsense, don't you? Onward ho to event 36, the 3009 game mix, which started out with 361 entries. Going into yesterday, there were 183 remaining. There are 22 remaining currently. With Philip Long, and I want to talk about him for a moment. He's already he is on his second final table in as many years for this event. So he took home third place in this event last year. So is he going to capture that bracelet and title today? I think that's a great side note. This guy, is proving that he's a mixed game guru, right? So he's in first place of chip stacks. Philip Long with 1.2 million. Jean Gaspard has 1.1 million. And Justin Liberto has just under a
Yeah,
million. He has
and
990,000,
and
99,000.
Sherry, we need to go speak with Justin's rail, man. This guy is the guy that his rail was talking about the bracelet when ODB was down to one, or now I'm hearing two big bets or two bets. Like uh, we need to have a chat with them
Not to
because
put the jinx on.
yeah, that just shut up about the bracelet. No talking about the bracelet until it's on my wrist.
I know
All
that's
right.
right. I
And by the
know
way,
that's
all of
right.
those people need to be like banned. My dad got a 10-year ban for cheering on the turn. Like talking about the bracelet at a final table before it's
Now
on my
let's be
wrist.
clear. You're the one who banned him, so nobody thinks that he got
Yeah.
banned by the
Yeah.
casino.
Yeah,
He
he
was
wasn't
banned by his son.
no shouting at security, although there was one incident, but nothing that bad.
Oh,
So,
oh,
all
you're
right.
so funny. And I still think your brother needs a 10-year ban for calling you early in the morning on the day you're at a
Yeah.
final table. But
So
that's
no,
another
no,
side
no,
note.
no. It was my first main
Oh,
event,
main event. That's right.
7 a.m. Hey, good luck, brother. Like I had just gotten to sleep at 4 a.m. I think my nerves were still shaking. So yeah, don't do that either. That wasn't a good idea. Oh,
And
here's a name. Here's a name we haven't seen in a while, Sherry. Event number 37. You'll go through this. The 2K No Limit Hold'em. Mark Safe. There we go.
well, before we get on to that, let's talk
Oh,
about it.
sorry.
Started out with 1,962 entries. There are 321 folks remaining. And at the top of the chip stack is Lee Penhan Geojoglu.
Good
Thank you
job.
very much. Thank you very much. Yes, she studied that this morning because she had some time. Don't ask me to repeat it though. And as you said, Mark Self, and of course I
Safe.
screw
Mark
that.
Safe.
Oh, it is
Yep.
safe.
Yep.
I said, of course, I screwed the easy one up. He's in second place with 711,000 in chips. And you know what? Lots of poker to be had on that. At the top, they're vying for not only that gold bracelet, but 524,770 777. Do you have any more comments on that one?
Yeah, obviously, Mark, the big story here. Haven't heard from him in a little while,
No.
and
Mm-mm.
in getting to the top of things. I mean, he's been around though. Like he's been playing a variety of events. He plays a lot of different a lot of the lower buy-in events. It looks like here. So he's been around, but yeah, this would be a great event for him to
Well,
make a deep run in.
good luck to him. And,
So how
he's
many?
not too far behind in that event.
Yeah, I mean, he's near the top. How many
Abs-
players did you say were left in this? I didn't see.
321
That's
out of
awesome.
1962. So that's a
So
great event happening
still early-ish, but he's setting himself up for a good deep run.
for
All
sure.
right, let's see if
Event
you could
number
say
38.
the event name correctly.
10,000 buy-in, limit, deuce to seven low ball triple draw
All
championship.
right, close enough, I
Started
think.
out with 106 entries and 45 remain, with Michael Wagner at the top of the heap of chips with 284,000 in chips, followed by Adam Friedman, who has 279,000 in chips, and not too far behind is Ryan Lang with 273,000 in chips. So lots of poker to be had there. You have some comments on that?
Yeah, Adam Friedman, just kind of a pretty nice guy. I've played with him several times over the years, and it was interesting. It was really pretty cool. He's one of the people, like I think early on, that I feel like he came into poker about the same time that I did, and then to see him kind of climb up through the ranks, and he takes a lot of crap because the guy like cried, I guess, for he's like day six of the main event, and he like loses this mammoth pot, and it's like, you know what? I'll tell you what, like, just bottom line, if I ever like win a bracelet or get super deep, I'm bringing sunglasses with me, Sherry, because guaranteed I'll be crying like a baby either way. So
Dude,
so
I'm going to be doing
don't
an
give the guy
ugly
crap.
cry. I'll be doing an ugly cry. Prepare yourself, people.
It won't just be a cry, it'll be an ugly cry.
It's going to be a damn ugly cry all the way to the bank with however much I just won. So thank you very much.
All right, sounds good.
Let's talk about the player of the year real quick. They did update it this morning. Chad Everlage is still in first, or went back to first because Jason Simon had taken over first for a little bit. So at the top of the heat is Chad with 2,168.65 in points. And I have heard this name pronounced so many different ways over the last 3 days that I have no clue. It's the gentleman from the Netherlands, Ons, and his last name is Arends. So,
Arans.
yeah, but I hear people using a silent at the beginning, silent letters. So I'm very confused on that name, but he has 1,878 points, point oh 0.06 in points. And I'm going to tell you that he is on a roll because he took third place in the 50K high roller. And of course, he took a gold bracelet and the top prize from event 29, which was the 100K high roller no limit tournament. So he is on a roll.
I don't know where
So
they are, but it feel in the standings, Sherry. But it feels like Negranu and Arie and
okay, I'm
these guys got to be like running down poor Chad there. He's like running
okay.
for his life.
Yeah, let me just tell you, those names are not as close as you think. I
No,
kind of made
oh
some
my
notables. So
goodness.
Josh Ari is in eighth place, so he is right in the mix right now. And believe me, the other names I'm going to mention are all in the mix, but they're not where you think they're in the mix as of
So
today.
so how
So
many
Ben,
points does Josh have? Do you have that?
okay, Josh has 1,572.55,
So he's
and
in striking
yeah,
distance.
as I just mentioned. And so Nick Schumann's in ninth place with 1,531.24 in points. But then you mentioned Daniel Negreanu. He's in 88th place with 688.77 points. And Phil Hellmuth is in 80th place with 717.30 in points. And Sean Deeb is in 75th place with
Whoa.
725.45 in points. And then you look at Ben Lamb, who's in 17th place with 1,250.58 in points. And then you go down a little further and you see Chance Corneth in 24th place with 1,193.33 in points. And then you look at number 28, you have Kristen Bicknell Foxen at 1,152.16 in points. Justin Bonomo, 31st, with 1,117.48 in points. So, yeah, there's a lot of room for people to jump up and jump in, and lots of, tournaments left. But
Well, it just feels
there's
like the last few days, it's like, okay, now the race is on, so.
right. But, I was kind of surprised to see, Deeb, Helmuth, and Negranu, you know, Sean at 75 and Daniel at 88 and Phil at 80th. I thought they moved a little bit further up, but it's
So
going to be interesting to keep watching those numbers.
So cue the calculation, the recalculation discussions.
Right. According to our calculations. Right. So,
It's a
that
really
list
hard
is going
thing.
to just keep,
It's a
you know,
hard thing because the reality is there's two different World Series that going on, and I think it's really important that the high roller folks can't just sit back in the high roller version of the WSOP and not have to go confront the masses and make their way through those fields too. So, but on the other hand, I don't think it's fair for somebody to come out and you know bink off an 18K 20K field and win player of the year. So I get
there's
the arguments of both sides,
yeah,
and
there's
I don't think there's a real good solution. I don't like oh, let's have two different things either. So I just don't think there's a good solution for it. And in
I
the end, we're talking about a prize of $0. So
I
oh,
think that there is, always room for improvement in the process. And I think player of the year is one of those things that it just has to keep evolving and getting tweaked. And, there's arguments on all different sides about how it should happen or not happen. And, the fact of the matter is, these people are amazing poker players, and it's nice to see a list that's just acknowledging, that they are collecting points and doing so well over a course of what, 7 or 8 weeks at the World Series. So it is fun. It's fun to follow for sure.
yeah.
Shall we move on to the tournaments that are
Yeah,
happening outside of the WSOP today?
yeah,
So
and I just want to say before we get this started, feel free to click the microphone if you want to come up and ask questions or have comments, and maybe if you're like a person that has some tournaments going on at your casinos and want to
yes,
like prop those up, you can feel free to do that section
yes.
for us so that we don't have to do that research. No, I'm just kidding.
We just, we just spew all the stuff at the beginning, but we want you to join in after we give you all the 411 of the day. So please definitely request to come speak with us because we're almost done with that 411. Today at South Point, there's a 10:05 a.m. tournament, $60 no limit, 4K guarantee. At 2:05 p.m., there's a $60 no limit turbo with a $1,500 guarantee. At 6:05 p.m. is a $150 no limit bounty, 10K guarantee. And at 10:05 p.m., a $60 no limit turbo with a $1,500 guarantee. At the Aria today at 11 is the $800 senior event for 50-year-olds and above with a 150K guarantee, which I wish I was in town for because I have a fake ID to get me into that one. And then tomorrow at 11 a.m., there will be a $600 mixed deuce to seven Badugi and Badusi tournament. That'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. At the Orleans today is an 11 at 11 a.m. is an $1,100 horse championship 100K guarantee. 4 p.m. is a $340 no limit 3K bankroll buster with a $1,500 guarantee. At 7 p.m. is a $200 no limit super stack 20K guarantee tournament. At the Golden Nugget today, at 11 a.m. is a mystery, $300 mystery bounty, $250 guarantee. Flight A is at 11. A 1 p.m. mixed tournament, a $300 buy-in with a 10K guarantee. 2 p.m. is the final table of the Pro-Am charity event. And Veronica, if you know or would like to enlighten us about what happened there yesterday, we would love it. At 3 p.m. at the Nugget, there's going to be Flight B of that mystery bounty, and at 7 p.m. is Flight C at that mystery bounty. And I know my co-host is probably feverishly looking for the Venetian and the win information. Go ahead, pal.
I got it. I know my role. I just didn't know how to turn on the microphone, apparently. so,
Oh, I love it.
so let's go to the Venetian. 11:10 today is the Big O tournament. $1,100 buy-in, $100,000 guarantee, 35,000 in chips and 30-minute levels. And then at the Win, starting at 12 o'clock, is another $1,100 no limit hold'em, $200,000 guarantee, 25,000 in chips, 30-minute levels, and that one is an unlimited re-entry. So then at 5 p.m. at the Win is the $1,100, $100,000 guarantee, 25,000 chips, starting stack, 20-minute levels, and unlimited re-entries as well. Both of those events at the Win have late reg until the start of level 9. So that's what's going on there.
Awesome events all around Vegas. And if anybody knows any events that are going on elsewhere, like the Sahara or Resorts World or anywhere else, honestly, I just, there's a limited amount of time I'm willing to put into looking up all this stuff every morning. So if anybody wants to add to the list of tournaments that are happening today, or if you're or a cash game that you think will be fun today, let us know, please.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like we say, like from nine as far as tournaments go, if you look at what's going on in Vegas, from basically 9 in the morning till say 11 o'clock at night, you have something kicking off. So it's important to keep that in mind and realize that there's always somewhere to play. And if you don't like if the structure isn't Alan Kessler approved, then there's always a different structure, a different buy-in level, or a different game. Whatever you want to play is pretty much always running. And then obviously cash games 24/7. So always something to do, Sherry.
I know that's right. And I want to make mention, I know that a lot of folks are playing pickleball this summer as a distraction from the WSOP. And for the person that's in our spaces listening this morning, yes, she said she would play, not me, my daughter, and possibly her assistant. So, yes, we will get together about that information as it gets closer. So,
yeah, and I finally figured out this morning, Sherry, why you keep changing the name of your poker series, because the acronym doesn't work out. It can't be WSOP. That one's already taken. So we got to come up with something different. And I can't even say the name of your poker series. Like I'm just like I don't want to get canceled
well,
here
and you know
live on
what?
the air.
And that's probably precisely why we can't probably use that word to begin with, right? Because
Yeah, maybe
who's
not.
going to who's going to promote that on their card rooms
Yeah,
Twitter or Facebook page for us?
I
I
did.
mean,
I did ask Sean yesterday. I asked him, so did you? It sounds like you maybe ran this up the flagpole to see what executive management might think of
and of
hosting
course he said
the
negative.
what was it, horror series of poker? Yeah, he thought it would be better if I approached his management team. with that than him. He likes his
I
job.
don't know. There may be
And
a ranch or two that would be wanting to host it.
let's put it this way: I think I have a better
Oh,
chance of getting Strawberry Julius's back there at Bellagio than I do getting
you're
that
so
name
funny with
pushed
that
through.
drink. I'm going to start every time you bring that up, and I'm not even going to bring up the other subject because I don't even want to remind you of it.
Oh no.
Every time you bring up one of those two subjects, I'm going to say, okay, Kessler.
Okay, Kessler. Okay, I got to tell you, I did hear something pretty funny last night. Was Kessler trying to so it's like 11:50, and he goes, "Hey, I've got 10 minutes to spend $200 in vouchers," and
Oh
so
my God.
so I hear like this discussion going on in the foreground, with Matt Savage and whoever, and then in the background it's Kessler trying to buy
To spend his
uh two.
$200 in
Well,
cups.
he literally says he says give me all of those Diet Cokes.
Free
and
Diet Cokes.
and
Right
the
up his alley.
chocolate chip cookies, I want all of those too. So if you see Kessler at the series today, he's going to have, like, I think he's going to have plenty of Kind bars
Right.
and chocolate chip
Right.
cookies,
All
and
right.
he's
And he
probably,
definitely said to ask them. He wants to share them because he doesn't want them to go to waste.
yeah,
So definitely ask for handouts today.
yeah, just as long as you're not asking for a Diet Coke. There's no way that Alan is going to share
Oh,
the Diet Coke. So
oh, that's hilarious.
yeah,
I love
quite
him so much. He's so hilarious. I mean,
quite
how do you not love him? Honestly.
quite a few characters in poker. So I love Alan. What? Good morning, Veronica. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm here to report, give you an chocolate chip cookie, banana bread, chocolate update. I am I am in a house with four high stakes cash game pros from the Bay Area. Now, I know, sick brag, right? And I am
Yeah.
proceeding to make them all chubby. I have so far made 2 batches of homemade chocolate chip cookies with Lindell chocolates on top. And then yesterday, I have been force feeding them the banana chocolate bread that I made, and they, at this point, don't even want to come home because they're afraid that I'm going to be feeding them something. I also made a double batch of my famous meatballs with
Oh my
with
God, I'm in.
with rice and beans and mushroom gravy and salad, and I am going to be making them salmon pasta on Sunday if I'm not making a day two. So yeah, I'm just giving you guys an update because we did start talking about food, and that's my specialty.
Well,
These
it
guys are
sounds
eating.
amazing.
Yeah, these guys are eating good,
Yeah, but they're
Veronica.
I know
complaining
that's
that
right.
they're losing their, hot boy summer bodies because they're young. They're like trying to find women. And here I am, the house mom, feeding them constantly, and they hate me for it.
Okay. Well, we can admit that this is probably not TJ approved cooking, but who gives a shit at this point? It sounds amazing.
Yeah, TJ's like screaming and running out to the street.
Yeah, it's not TJ
That's
approved.
funny.
The meatballs, I think, were TJ approved. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I I will eat, just a meatball and a salad, but I'll force feed them all the carbs and sugars and everything. So yeah.
Especially if they're at your table. I think that's a great game plan.
Stay.
I should, you know what, on in ladies events, and sure, you probably know this, like people come with cookies, like, oh, I baked macaroons. Oh, here I made bracelets. I should really, because I'm playing the Monster Stack on Saturday, I should really bring just like a batch of cookies and give everyone at my table a cookie. Just because
100%.
these poor men,
100.
they're just repressed and they just don't get enough love. So I should bring them chocolate chip cookies.
Well,
I
let me tell you,
definitely. I.
I'm going to give you a little background on something I've done. The very first ladies event I played, I was not planning on playing. And then somebody approached me and I was like, okay, I'll play. So I ended up playing it in 2019, but I'm involved with the Women's Poker Association, like everybody knows. And they always do a breakfast the morning of the ladies event. And so I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to take something with me that I can kind of hand out at that event. And, it could be a good icebreaker for everybody. So I made these little sachets with, what's in it? I can't think of the flower. What's the purple flower? My mind just went blank.
Lilac?
Lilac, thank you, in it. And I was busy playing the tournament. I didn't go to the breakfast. So I don't know if you remember Cece O'Hare, I think was her last name. God rest her soul. She passed them out for me. And nobody knew where they came from. And it was so funny because when she came to my table, I was busy in the hands. So there were like no comments made about it. Right. And then the following year, which I did a ladies' event, was last year, the WPT. And I brought, believe it or not, I was cleaning out my closet and I had all of these brand new things that had never been used that I've been saving for raffle things for when we do like poker um, fundraisers. Well, I wanted it out of my closet, so I wrapped them up and brought them in a big tote bag to the ladies' event. And I posted, if you see me, ask me for a grab bag. And people were coming to find me to get these grab bags. And you know what? It's so fun. So I highly recommend you hand out cookies.
Yeah, I'm going to. I have all the ingredients. I have so many I have ingredients. I have to use up everything before I leave. Even though I'm leaving in like 3 weeks, I still,
Right.
I don't want to leave with a pound of sugar. So
Right.
everyone's getting cookies on Saturday and everyone's getting cookies on Monday. I'm doing the Omaha mix game on Saturday or on Monday,
I
sorry.
I love that. It's just fun. It's you've never met somebody. It's just a nice way to start the conversation. Or when you see somebody you do know. It was just fun to be able to do that. I'm telling you, you're gonna love that.
It's more for me about making sure men have the full experience that women get when we play poker tournaments and ladies events. Like men are not getting the great experience that we get, and I feel like they're a poor repressed group. And
I
I'm
love
here to
you.
help men become equals.
Repress.
I love you so much. Love it. Love it.
So
Love it.
Veronica, if I make cookies but I buy the dough from and just throw it in the oven, is that scratch made like homemade
That is not
cookies or
scratch,
oh no.
I
You
need to mute you for saying that, for
Those
even
are
considering it.
faux
one
cookies. Faux
1v1.
cookies.
Don't be giving her co-host
Software, do you
shade.
know how easy it is to make cookie dough? It's
Oh yeah.
literally like three ingredients and well, it's not, but it's, mostly three ingredients. Like you got to be kidding me. You got to just make it from scratch. It tastes so much better.
So cookies are the one thing that I probably can make, but baking is not my thing. Now, if you want me to cook you dinner, like I can do that. I'm pretty good at that,
Listen,
but
Linda.
baking is not my thing.
No, 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 no.
Linda.
Listen, it's fucking baking. We're not shooting a fucking rocket into Mars. You literally just follow a recipe.
Yeah.
We're not running solvers here. You literally just follow the recipe and you're fine. I barely follow the recipe and everything turns out okay.
So
You got to
probably
get
if
in
I
the
if I
lab.
if I take my ADD pills, I can get through it successfully.
We got to get you in the baking lab. We do.
All right. All
So
right.
easy. Baking with Veronica. That's software's assignment.
Yeah.
So during COVID, I had a Discord group. I still have it, but it's, not so active. And we used to play Among Us together. But I also would like turn on my camera and I would just start cooking. And like the whole group would like be in there because what else are we going to do? We're all like locked down. And I would like make meatballs or whatever and just hang out with the group.
Well, you
That's
said banana
awesome.
bread earlier, and during COVID, my wife started making all these different banana breads. The one that I thought was the best was it was banana bread with chocolate chips and peanut butter. That was like pretty solid.
I uh I actually have made a banana bread with chocolate and peanut butter and it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's a good combo.
I do one, we call it gorilla banana bread, and it's with chocolate chips and walnuts.
Mm,
It's so
yeah.
good. So good.
So I want to say at Aria today because Mr. McCormack is here. They have the low budget high roller event here. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chip stack. I thought you guys were actually running $125,000.
No, today's the
Because
seniors event.
well, there's seniors, but it's funny because at the WSOP they had they have like the 250, and I thought that Poker Go was running 125,000. I was like, oh, they're
Yes.
doing the budget event there. No, it's a 10K Poker Go Tour Aria High Roller event. So
Yeah, maybe we
it's not 125.
maybe we gotta let you just keep making cookies from pre-made batches here.
Yeah, there you go.
Veronica, tell us about the Pro-Am yesterday.
Yeah.
How did they run that? Like, did they pair you up with an amateur, or was it just a mixture of both at a table?
So what they did was like the people who were featured, the VIPs or whatever, they put all of us one per table, it looked like. And that's what it was. It was just a regular poker tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's like I think the final table's today. I'm doing commentary with Joey today.
Awesome. We'll look forward to that.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to that. I think he made a final table, or I can't remember. There's like multiple events going on. So I have been busy, playing a nightly at Resorts World. Do you want to know what's crazy? Were you guys around when there was like some sort of clip going around, or someone messaged me that Matt Glantz, not Matt Glantz. Why am I having a brain issue right now? The tournament director?
Matt Savage.
Matt Savage. So Matt Savage like got rid of a swearing rule at the World Series of Poker, but at Resorts World, you can't swear. And like I was just joking around with someone, and I said the F word, and this guy like called the floor on me. And I was and he was just being actually obnoxious. He ended up getting an hour, like I can't remember, but he got a penalty and had to leave the table for a while. He was like being obnoxious to every single person. But I was shocked that Resorts World has like a non-swearing rule, and it's pretty ridiculous. I was like not happy that they were like trying to enforce it like we're elementary school kids. It was kind of silly. So Sean, I hope that you won't. Sean, I hope you don't kick me out if I start, swearing a little bit here and there at Aria. I feel like he might, though. Might bring the fuzzy handcuffs and walk me out of there.
the MGM fuzzy handcuffs.
Don't promise Veronica a good time with those fuzzy handcuffs.
But it's a silly rule, right? It's a very silly rule.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And even when they had it at the WSOP, like most people, as long as somebody wasn't being like belligerent and a jerk, like never said anything. And I feel like it was a bad idea if you did say something, because the whole table was against you.
I can totally see if, there's a big difference between me being like, holy fuck, nice hand, and then me being like, hey, fuck you, you fucking piece of like, that's a difference.
Yeah,
like,
I'm all for that penalty.
Yeah, like, you should be able to say, like, nice fucking hand, Oh, here comes Sean. I'm going to be scolded. Okay.
Here comes the fuck police. Come on, Sean.
That could be taken out of context, Sherry.
That's okay. That's all right. We're talking about all kinds of things today. Go ahead, Sean.
Good morning, everybody. What the fuck is going on this beautiful Friday?
We're waiting on you, brother.
You're definitely
free speech.
You're definitely not getting scolded from me, that's for sure. But yes, cursing at the table always falls into what I call 3 different buckets. There's a holy shit, fucking great hand. Okay, that's cool, whatever. There's the losing a hand and being like, fuck, and just mad at yourself. That toes the line a little bit. If you get loud, we will have something to say to you. And then there's obviously when you direct it at someone, a dealer or another player, that's just instantly out of the room. Like, go fuck yourself. Yeah, okay, well, you go fuck yourself in a different fucking poker room. So, Veronica, no, I'm not going to scold you for getting excited winning a hand or somebody else winning with a nice hand and using the F word.
It was close though, right? You were considering like any chance you can have to like potentially kick me out of the room just to make it a show, you
Well,
know?
I didn't realize at 9:45 in the morning we'd be talking about fuzzy handcuffs already. So I don't know. You know, I think this is
Sean,
situational. I have to be there in the moment.
it's never too early to talk about fuzzy handcuffs, Sean. And hey, you know, we don't talk every day, but I know you. And, you know, I've seen you in a onesie. I think you could handle fuzzy handcuffs.
Oh my God. I can't with you. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Before everyone takes us out of context, we had a onesie game at Stones. We all wore onesies.
That is hilarious.
I was sitting here praying that there was a story behind that, Veronica, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We used to play fun private games at Stones.
Hey,
So
I'm
yeah.
not hiding it. The receipts are online. I did what I did and I stand by it.
I love
I
it.
have some funny videos of Sean from my games at Stones. Like they used to get so crazy. And my favorite video of Sean is like me panning around the table, people standing up, throwing chips in the center. Like it was absolute chaos. Someone bets $750 into like a $100 pot. Another person's calling, another person's considering. And then I pan over to Sean. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Sounds about right. All right, I'll give one story real quick. Everybody loves story time in the morning, I guess. But I was at a casino here in Las Vegas. This would have been, oh God, 10 years ago. I wasn't director of anything at that point. I was just a poker guy like everybody else. But yeah, I'm at a casino and get the old straight flush draw on the flop versus top set, and all the money goes in. I don't know what I had left at that point. We literally all the money goes in. It was like 3,800 more that I had. So I don't know, 8-9K pot, whatever it ends up being. And I bink we get it in. Other guy doesn't want to run it twice. He's like, nope, I'm good. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I bink the straight flush right on the turn. I immediately, when I made the straight flush, I kind of bent my cards in excitement because I'll tell you guys, an 8K pot is massive for someone like me. So I got really excited and I bent one of the cards. And at this place, they had a rule, and I'm not going to name the property. I believe they have since changed this rule, but they had a rule that if you broke any cards for any reason, like intent doesn't matter, they asked you to leave for the day. So I'll tell you this, the best part of that story is me as the recreational player walking away with 9K for the day because the house told me I had to leave. I wasn't upset, but I'll tell you the players were upset. Probably a lot of F words there that day.
That's hilarious. There's nothing worse than a guy like stacking half the table and then leaving.
Hit and run, baby.
I got forced out. I wasn't leaving. I got forced out. And even the supervisor was like, yeah, this is probably not a good rule. I said, I won the pot, right? Like, I'm the guy that's happy here. And it didn't matter. The manager was like, no, we're under direction. Any broken card, you got to leave. I was like, wow. By the way, please don't go in poker rooms and break cards. But intent does matter in this case.
I have a funny story about that. We had a guy, I think it was River Creek Casino in Canada. It was like one of the first few years I was playing poker. He was so angry at the river. I think it was like a tournament. He ate one of the cards and he got kicked out, but he ate the card.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
As you guys can imagine, working 20 years in poker on this side of the table, I have some great stories about people breaking cards and eating cards. I've seen it. I do not recommend it. Please don't eat poker cards. You will go to the hospital. Yeah, some wild stories for sure. I remember one time at Bellagio, we had a guy get so mad in a 10-20 game, he picked up the table and literally tipped it over. It took us about an hour and a half to recreate everything using surveillance and everything we did, and not one of the other players complained about their chip stack, which is incredible. The chips were everywhere. In a 10-20 game where average stack was probably 15K. It was a mess, but we did it. So just wild stories in poker, and like I always say, passion's a part of this game, but there's a right way and there's a wrong way. So
100%.
Don't flip tables. It's really bad.
That's crazy, Sean.
It's incredible that you can actually get everyone's chips back to exactly what they were. Like how much HD is in those cameras? Like I never assumed that they're that good. Like, can they actually zoom in that well?
Are you asking me that as a question? If you're asking me that as a question, I can't
I'm
answer that
asking,
question.
yeah. Okay, well, it's a question. If you can't answer it, that's fine. But I'm like pretty shocked that they can, like what do they can see our pores and shit? Like how good are those cameras?
He's sworn to secrecy, I think. That's funny. Sean just like leaves it on mute. Okay, so moving on. That's so funny. But hey, Sean. Like, here's my thing: is every time I'm playing with somebody that asks for a heavy scramble, like I demand a light scramble. So how do you make that decision, like between light and heavy scrambles?
The only thing I worry about scrambling these days are my eggs in the
Your
morning
eggs.
before breakfast. That's all I worry about. Yeah, I don't know. If players ask for a scramble, we generally give them a scramble. I mean, we do have like internal house rules on like if the same person's asking over and over again or asking for new setups where we know it's not like a real thing. Like we entertained that for far too long. Like, oh, bring me a setup. Like the cards are going to change
Yeah,
magically into something new. Like, no, it's the common denominator is you,
is you.
Bob. Bob, it's you. But no,
Maybe
yeah, we
don't
used.
100x every pot. Like that's
I
probably a
mean, it's
good.
something. Yeah, exactly. It's something we still do entertain, especially in the higher limit games. We get it. Players are superstitious and stuff like that. But yeah, asking for a wash or a scramble is always just a funny thing to me. But when I was a dealer, someone asked, I did it. It's
Are
not a big
you
deal.
now, Sean? Are you required to roll your eyes when they do that, or is that like part of the procedure, or no?
No, yeah, it's literally at the end of every hand. You're supposed to move the button, pull the rake, and then if you get stiffed, you roll your eyes. So yeah, I guess something could be similar. Something could be similar for people that ask for scrambles all the time.
Yeah, I usually talk like, especially if I lose a pot and the person doesn't tip, I'll go, "Oh, never mind. I lost the pot, and I'll take care of you too." Like, it's anyway, Veronica.
Yeah, I kind of have a little bit more serious question for Sean. I'm curious how like soft matters are handled. Let me give you like a little story. I've been playing PLO a lot and I've been going to the Win. And they've got like a really nice 1-2 PLO with like occasional $10 straddle. It's nice. But there's like one guy who literally tips the floor to come sit at my table and he like moves seats until he's next to me. And this is like 3 days in a row. And he's really creepy and he's like very forward with hitting on me. And I've told the floor that he makes me uncomfortable, but he's not like hurting anyone. He's not like, you know what I mean, Sean? Like he's not like following me or anything, but he just makes my entire time at the table uncomfortable to the point where I went there last night and I saw him and I left and I told the Win staff, I'm like, sorry, like I want to play, but if he's here, I'm just leaving. Because last time I told them about it, they knew who he was. They like apparently this is like par for the course for him, and he makes women uncomfortable. And they told me they would ask him to move tables, but they didn't. And so I just left because I don't want to cause a scene because I actually like that poker room and I don't want to be like, causing trouble everywhere I go because like creepy guys are, unfortunately in a lot of places. So I'm wondering like how these kinds of things are handled when someone's not really doing anything, but they are, you know what I mean?
Sure, and that's those are obviously tough situations. My recommendation, obviously you named the place it was at, so I never talk bad or good, or well, I always talk good about my competitors, but I'll never talk bad or anything. I don't think they necessarily missed the mark here completely, but what I think you need to do is escalate this. I'm sure Ryan would sit down with you, talk to you about this, get a feeling of what the situation is, and then make an actionable plan to move on, whether that person can never transfer anymore or definitely can't transfer the games you're in when you're in the room. That would be something, I think there's a case to be made for that. But you're right, it does get tough. But at the end of the day, like I tell everybody, we're all private businesses. We can ask someone not to play or tell you to move or do whatever we want, and you're kind of in our realm. You know what I mean? And that I'm not saying like we hold the keys to the castle, but yeah, I guess we do. But if it's to keep you safe, that has to be the utmost responsibility of any poker room. So again, what I would do is reach out to Ryan, talk to him directly one-on-one, go meet him if you're in the room or something like that. I don't know if you know him, but if you don't, yeah, make an introduction and just say, hey, this is my thoughts and feelings, and let him go from there. I'm sure he'll have something to say, a positive way to get out of this.
Okay, thanks.
Put your banner over there, V. That's all I'll say.
And I'll close, put a bow on that a little bit, Veronica, by saying everybody should feel safe in a poker room at all times. It's not always possible because there's bad eggs in every business and anything. But more information to the people at the top is helpful. And just protect yourself, guys. I mean, we have to all be more alert these days. Not just in poker, but as a society as a whole, we have to be more alert than we used to have to be 20 years ago. And just, safety, personal safety has to come first. We play a game for a living, and it's fun and it's enjoyable, but at the end of the day, it's a game, and let's not get injured for such game or put ourselves in situations where we didn't have to. And I'm not blaming you in any way, of course. I'm not telling you not to go down there, and I'm telling you just to talk to the person at the top, and then based on that conversation, you can reassess how safe you feel to continue going to any of these places.
So one thing I think about when I went to Resorts World last night, and there was one guy there who was causing trouble, and he got a penalty. He was literally starting fights with every player. And I was thinking, like, as a business, and this is like the same, like on a team, like where I work in corporate, right? If we have like one toxic person on the team, doesn't matter how technically sound they are, if they're terrible to work with, you got to get rid of them. You can't have people like not wanting to be in a situation, or not wanting to be on a team, or not wanting to come to the room. And to me, when poker rooms keep blatantly, like, everyone's going to have a bad day, everyone's going to like yell, everyone's going to like tilt, but like someone who's consistently like soft abusing people, it's funny to me that poker rooms would be like okay with allowing them to come in. Like the guy last night, there was like a regular at my table, and he's like, yeah, this guy has like a rap sheet of complaints, and they still let him in the room. And I'm like, why do they do this? Like, it makes everyone's experience miserable. And this guy's playing, like $150 daily. Like, it's not like he's bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars in the room. Like, he's in the poverty stakes. Sorry, I am too. I'm like making a joke of it, but like, what is the value of keeping this person or us person like him and allowing them to stay in the room? Like, it literally just ruins everyone's experience. And I can't see it being good for anyone, like the business, because like, if I don't want to go back to Resorts World now, to be honest with you, because like they actually did like almost nothing besides give this guy a penalty after I heard that he's got all these complaints. Like, I don't want to go to a room where they don't do anything about like these kinds of players.
Yeah, and they're definitely, when you look at it, negative overall for the casino. So, but that problem, and I think that the mistake there, Veronica, is we can't call out the specific room. It's just like, if you want an answer from Sean, so
Well, I mean, I think that was more like of in general, how do you handle things? And then I gave an example of Resorts World. And I don't like, look, if I'm not talking shit about Resorts World, I'm giving honest feedback and honest reflection as to what I saw last night. And like, I don't want to pander to a room, just because I want clout. Like, I want to be honest and say, like, look, this guy was a problem, and really, like, what are you guys doing about it? Because it's made everyone around us miserable. Like, everyone in the tournament was miserable because of this guy. And he was like, he was doing all kinds of weird shit, like he had 2 tables around him with like napkins and like piles of junk on them, and he would like make signs that say do not touch. And like, he was like angry at the waitresses, angry at the dealers, like talking shit to all the patrons. Like, it was just wild that it was just like happening. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was pushing way too many boundaries.
Yeah, just like why have these people around if they're like that? Sean, go ahead, jump in.
I'm going to say this from an operator standpoint, and this is just a suggestion, but I think this would help, especially in tournament poker, which has very black and white rules. I think a lot of times TDs don't go, or how should I put this? They're afraid to disqualify people. It's never a good look for a tournament for someone to be DQ'd. And then there's a question of like, how deep are we? Do they get a refund and stuff like this? But something I know I did at Aria, and I know pretty much all the rest of the rooms that we operate under feel this way. But if someone, like, I don't care if someone's 5 levels in, if they do something so egregious and I have to ask them to leave, I give them a refund and just get them out of the room. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Generally, like for $160 daily, I just made up the difference because we're Aria and we should be making up the difference. But like in a 10K event, if this happens, poker rooms aren't going to be like, oh, here's 10K, we'll leave it in the prize pool. So, and I'm not making an excuse for operators here. We can just ask someone to leave. But I do feel like from just a historical standpoint, like TDs don't like DQing somebody, especially if they're not in the money or they're invested interest in. And like, where does the money go? Does it come out of the prize pool? Do the players take the hit? But I just think operators just need to be more comfortable just getting these people out of the tournament and say, hey, return another day or 1 month ban or 1 year ban and stuff like that. Get over safety means everything. Like, it's just a little bit of money. Give them the money. And even if that means it comes from the prize pool, like everybody sees the prize pool as X and you go, sorry, we had to DQ someone and we made a decision to refund this player. As long as they weren't cheating. If they're cheating, obviously we always keep the money. But if it's something borderline and we have to make a decision where we think it's not normal or not in line with historically what we've done in poker, we just need everybody to support us on that. I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of like rambling about it now, but
No, it totally makes sense.
at the end of the day, I just want everybody to feel safe in tournaments, and I want the powers that be to feel like they can do what's right in the moment, even if it has a financial effect in some way or another. And these are so one-off like things. We should just be doing, like I said, doing the right thing and getting these people out of poker because, there's no abuse in our game anymore. I mean, there is. I'm not blind to that, but there's no place for these people to stay in our game. And the operators need help from the players to speak up to us, let us know. That's why I told you, Veronica, go right to the top. These people are in their positions because they're good at talking to people. Most people in poker are good at talking to people because our business is people. It's not cards and chips at the end of the day. So I've had personal conversations with Ryan. I know he'd love to have this conversation. And I'm sure Leon at Resorts World would love to have the conversation with you as well. But like I said, just reach out to the top and make sure you're keeping yourself safe at all times.
Yeah, and I would say too, Sean, like there's a difference between the TD and security people. So if you're messing with security, count on.
This security came when this guy, and he wasn't at my table. I didn't instigate it. I know I'm a little bit loud, but like security came because he was literally attacking everybody at the table and they had to talk to him. And then he got a penalty and he was like sitting out for almost an hour. And then he came back and continued.
Unbelievable.
Barry has his hand up. Software, you got to keep doing your job, bro.
Yeah. Well, I got you here. You're the pro.
And I'm over here doing some other things. Sorry about that. I could have been helping y'all too. Go ahead, Barry.
That's great. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Brian. Thanks again, Sherry. Sean, great turnout yesterday for the Big O tournament. Is there any place they posted the results that I could find?
RTD send our results from all of our properties to Hendon. GPI updates, all that stuff. And but which event were you talking about? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The Big O yesterday.
Oh, the Big O. Yeah. So like the Twitters run by the properties like Aria Poker and MGM Grand Poker and all that, they do post like winner photos and result stuff and stuff like that. But again, we send all of that, the data from all of our tournaments, whether they're dailies up through super high rollables, we send all of that to Hendon to update all that stuff.
I appreciate it. And I think it's all these insult trolls that are out now. I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better because now it's cool to be a troll. Or And, they're in my mentions. They want to know where I'm playing. They want to play me heads up. They want to come fight me. They're just
Just
retarded right
block.
now.
Hey Barry, just block them.
Yeah, just block
Just
them.
block them, dude. Don't even give them a second thought, dude. Just block them.
Yeah, I got no problem
And
engaging.
and I'm gonna say this too. I think this is what guys. I'm still haven't had enough coffee today. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. Sorry, but I think this is kind of what I was trying to talk about when you're in these rooms and you don't feel safe. I remember talking with a woman in poker, someone that works for the WPA or something like that. But we were talking about how many women come into a poker room one time and then they have a bad experience and we never know about it. That's the
Yep.
worst. We never know about it. They walk out, they grab their chips, they cash out, they walk out, and they never return. Not just to that property, like they leave poker or they only play online and stuff like that. And this is where I say, like, in no way am I blaming anybody who had a bad experience, whether no matter what gender or anything about that. But if we don't get the information, it really becomes hard to kind of learn from what needs to be learned from and get better. So that's all I'm saying at the end of the day. Just seek out the person in charge of everything. And I'm not saying supervisors aren't helpful, and I'm not saying shift managers aren't helpful, but these directors, especially in these big luxury poker rooms, their job is to be a people person and to listen to you and to adjust and to get better off of feedback. Yeah, you can vote with your dollars and stop going, and that eventually has feedback. But in real time, when it's something that you don't feel safe or protected, or someone was just being an asshole or a troll, getting that information while it's still fresh and hot makes it so much easier for us to address the behavior, up to and including trespassing that person. I don't like trespassing people. I hate it. It's a horrible, horrible feeling to do. However, if it keeps people protected, I'm going to do it 10 times out of 10, and I'm never going to balk at it. But without the information, I can't act. So that's why I'm just saying, get to those guys. I know they're great guys, and I know they also buy into the philosophy of keeping people safe in their rooms.
Yeah, and it's not just like if the person's bothering you, but like if somebody's way over the line, like, or even over the line, like to you, I mean, say something. Don't you even if the other person's like laughing or whatever, like it's just some things aren't funny, and sometimes people don't feel like they can speak up for themselves. So, and you don't have to be confrontational about it. You can walk over and tell the floor man or tournament director or whatever it is. And then for Barry online, I would just remind you of this post that I saw the other day. I remember I got into an argument on Reddit a while ago with a person over Italian food. It got to the point they were following me into other subs to harass me. I clicked on their profile to block them, and their most recent post was them drinking their own pee. At that moment, I realized I had spent so much pointless time arguing about the taste of food with someone who drinks their own pee as a hobby.
Wow,
So,
this took a
Yeah,
left turn.
so
I come. Sorry, I come from a different social audio app that's probably 2 years old, and the only thing that's left on it now are the flat earthers and pretendians and just
yeah,
really
if it's
crazy people.
if it's not a good community, then just get out of it and block and all of that kind of stuff and move on to things that are more positive for you. I think it's funny, like a lot of the stuff that I get digged on is like how many listeners we have or whatever. And it's like, I don't really care. I'm here to talk to Sherry and whoever else comes up here. And if anybody else is interested in what we have to say, like, that's great. I don't need 1,000 people on here. Sherry and I talked about it a lot. Like, we could talk about things that drive the listeners, but like, it's like, let's just talk about what we want to talk about or what everyone wants to talk about, and we can just do that kind of thing. Sean, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot since people like to. Veronica tried to put me on a little hot spot there a little bit. So I'm going to put you on the spot because you guys know I've been involved in these spaces since day one. However, the last 5 to 7 days, I've been slacking a little bit. I know there was some drama without using names or anything. Can you give me a 30 to 60 seconds like catch me up to speed without using names? How bad is it? Like, what's going on now? I have no idea what's going on the nighttime spaces.
All right, I'm just going to stop the conversation right there because we really don't want to start this conversation. And I'm sorry, but if you want to talk about it, on a one-on-one, I'll be happy to do so. But honestly, we're having a great space here, and I don't want to bog it down with stuff that really wastes our time.
And you're derailing us, Sean.
What? No. Literally, what you just said is exactly what I needed to hear. You told me it's a train wreck, and we're trying to move on. I love it. I'm here for the daytime spaces, guys. I'm here for the love of poker. I'm here for love of the industry. I'm here for love of you guys. So if they're on the nighttime spaces and doing all the bad stuff, let them stay there. I guess the cool kids now all get burner accounts and then go into these spaces. Is that what I'm hearing, though? I want to just bring that part up.
Well, it's so funny that people think that I have burner accounts. And I said this the other day. Please meet me somewhere you can look at all my electronic devices. I can barely remember my fucking login for one account. If you think I'm going to have multiple accounts, you don't know me very well. And if I want to come into a space, I don't have to come incognito. I'm coming straight at you. So fuck off with the burner account accusations.
Woo!
Thank you.
I love you, Peaches. Oh my God, I love you so much. That's amazing. Well, I don't have one either, so I'm with you. I'm team one account on Twitter, so that's whatever.
Yeah, like I don't have time for all that. I have an actual life. You know what I mean? Like I have a life. But anyway, let's keep moving on down the road. Thank you there, though.
I want to go to Cool Hand Cat.
Yeah.
She just came up, and then we'll go to
Yeah,
Barry.
hi. So I had a few points about the conversation we were just having with Veronica and Sean. One of the things that I want to say is that I think the reason why people don't talk up at the table is it's tilting. Every time you engage in a conversation with somebody that you just want to play, so people don't want to get involved because it's tilting. It puts them off. So that's why they don't speak up. And a correlate of that is that if you hear someone, and I think specifically like a woman like me, because I can probably be called an instigator too. I'm very quick-witted. And I don't know if Veronica feels the same way, but if we're engaging like that, it's most likely a defense mechanism because nobody's speaking up for us. The floor is not intervening, so we are left to our own devices. So when you hear us like maybe needling or engaging like that, it is a way to, it's a defense. It's basically just a defense mechanism. And it's how we've learned how to handle those situations in life, which then reflects at the poker table. So that was my first point, that sometimes what you're hearing is it's not really trying to cause more problems. It's actually trying to deflate a situation that is escalating in our minds
I'm going to stop you right there because you are so on target. And it's also that you've been maybe putting up with it for an hour, 2 hours, thinking that surely one of these dealers is going to step in and do something, or somebody else is going to do something, and you don't need to even insert yourself. But then it just gets to the point you're so tired of it that you've got to, whatever.
I mean, for me personally, I've had a lot of different experiences with this to different degrees. I had a really bad one actually during the main event in 21, where the guy on my left is a known player, known maybe troublemaker that I didn't know at the time. He flops quads against me, and he gets I paid him. I had top two, so whatever. So he makes some money. He jumped up and ran around the room saying he walked the dog and all kinds of crazy stuff, and then he wouldn't get off me. So eventually, because I'm sarcastic and I'm trying to defend, I start needling him back. Eventually, what I did was I got up and walked away from the table. I left, and I lost an hour level. But because I was so deep stacked, I thought I don't have to be here right now. I've got a double starting stack already in level 3. I don't have to be here. So I left, and I walked around. I walked around, the Rio. And when I came back, okay, basically I have to sit here and pacify this guy by trying to be nice to him, which I don't want to do either because he won't stop. And there's you know what I mean? So that's one of the things that maybe you develop, but the fact that I basically took off a whole level, because because no one was going to say anything. And he's screaming, he was live streaming it on Instagram or whatever he was doing. I don't know. I wasn't really involved in Twitter at the time. He's live streaming himself, walking around, talking about the hand and calling me names and stuff while he's doing it, right? Nobody said anything. He's loud. He's running around the room doing a lap, and nobody said anything. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's like one thing. I don't know if you want to respond to that, but there's a couple other points I want to make. One that I think is an interesting thing for floors is that if you have a person who moves tables, for example, moving tables, and they just lost a big hand or something, and they can't sit down, they're so like hyped up that they can't actually sit in their chair, they shouldn't be at the table. And I've had this happen a couple of times where you have this man who's big basically put next to you, and he won't sit down, and he's just steaming and he's hovering. And like at one point there was one guy who was like, he kept hitting me with his chair, and it's like, I shouldn't be telling him you got to sit down. I mean, so I had two incidents. One where the guy was sitting with the chair, and that was like 10 years ago in a deep stack at the Rio during WSOP, and I probably didn't handle that great, but it was the same thing. I'm looking across the table and nobody's saying anything, so I'm telling the guy, you have to sit down, right? The second time this happened was more recently at the Commerce, and because he was on my left, and he seemed like a VIP, and I was playing like I think it was like a 1K buy-in or something, and everybody was like, he's a VIP, so leave him alone, right? So because he was on my left, I just didn't play. I didn't look at my cards, and I said, basically, I'm not going to look at my cards until you sit down. But once again, this is not something that I should probably have to deal with, because then now I have a target on me. Now he's mad at me, and now he's coming after me. And he can do that, but that affects my play, because now I have someone who's upset with me. And I tend to try to get everyone at the table to be cool and happy and have a good time, and not get like if you're going to get out of line because you want to, that's fine. But I don't like the emotions rising at the table. I don't like putting people on tilt. I like people just to be chill, right? And then it affects me, so it's like, it's not necessarily, obviously I think it's to my benefit because I like it that way. And if they're on tilt, then everything gets all crazy in my mind, right? So that affected everything, because I felt like I had to confront this guy because he's hovering over me and he's too angry to sit down. And I think the floor should be like, if you can't sit in your chair, you can't be here. And then my last point, which is probably going to be off topic again, is that when it comes to people getting upset at the table, I think that's cool. I think that's legit. And I think it's okay to swear. It's okay to say that was dumb. I mean, there's within reason, there are things you can say, but maybe we should have something like a shot clock. Like, you get 5 seconds, you get 10 seconds, and that's it. Like, you can, but that's it. Your time's up. You got 5 seconds to rant. You got 10 seconds to talk about how bad that hand was. You get 20 seconds to say, man, I should have played. And then everybody moves on.
Okay. I disagree with that last one, just because we would be encouraging bad behavior, and I'm never for that. So
I'm saying within reason, because people are going to do it. No. But like, basically.
But Sean, do you have some comments about her concerns, sir?
Woo, that was a lot. Kat, thank you for sharing that. I can hear the emotion in your words, and I know I can almost feel like I'm seeing it through your eyes in that moment. I'm sorry you went through that. That, again, no one should have to feel that way at the poker table. We talked about getting the people in charge to kind of know these things. I'm going to kick it back to that recommendation. It's, I preach that with our poker leadership, to be involved, have an open door policy, listen to both sides, find the truth in the middle, all these things. And there's a reason why at our MGM properties, our poker room directors' offices are located right in the poker room. It's so that the players have access to you can't find the VP of the casino's office, but you can always find the poker director or the poker room manager, because their offices are literally within poker by design, so that you guys can always talk to them. So I'm just going to say that in those spots, one, don't rely on a dealer. I'm going to use an example that I used to say at Aria, and it's only a crude example because I used to live in Florida, but the dealers are kind of like a Mickey Mouse character. And if you're at Disney World and you have a problem, you're not going to the Mickey Mouse character. You have to find someone in a suit away from the table. And again, dealers have to protect the game, of course, but it's a very awkward situation for dealers who cannot get up, who cannot walk away to address in the moment. Yes, they should be calling the floor over for assistance, but if they're not, please just step away from the table for a hand. You shouldn't have to leave for a whole level, but you should be protected and you should feel safe. And I know I'm just repeating myself, but just find the highest ranking person at the floor and let them know what's going on. And if they don't act, go above them.
I mean, for me, Sean, like somebody says, "Oh, I just walked the dog and I'm running around the table," um, to a female at my table, I'm going to say something, right, to the person, and I would think that I would get a response of like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean it like that," or something. If that's the response, then all good. I'm done with it, right? Like, but if the response is doubling down or anything kind of other than that, then like you're saying, I'm going to the top. Like that TD comes over and doesn't give the person a penalty to get them to understand that what they're doing is wrong, then I'm going to whoever the top person is that's responsible until I get a satisfactory answer. And if I go to you, Sean, I'm at your property and you don't give it an acceptable answer, and I feel like the person was way over the line and isn't protecting the players, then I'm probably not going to play there. I had a situation not like this, but where I thought there was cheating going on, honestly. And actually, this is kind of a question too. This will lead to a question, Sean. So I made the poker room manager aware of it. I'll just tell you really quick. I was in the 10 seat. The 1 seat was an off-duty dealer. A lot of action folded around to me in the 10 seat. I called the dealer before the 1 seat could act in the big blind. The dealer cuts out the cards and turns the card, the flop toward the off-duty dealer. And as soon as she turns it that way, the off-duty dealer says, I didn't go. And so the dealer puts the cards back down. And she goes, okay, go. I go, go? No, you're not going. You just showed her the cards. She goes, oh, I didn't see it. I go, no, bullshit. Like, that gets shuffled back in, right? And they go, no, it's okay. I didn't see it. And I go, as soon as they say it, they're both dealers. I know they know the ruling. So I call the floor over. The floor obviously rules to shuffle the cards back in. The 1 seat acts all annoyed. And she's like, fine, then I'm done with it, right? So what does she turn out? She just checks down the hand. I don't know why you would do that if you were cheating, because she turns over pocket aces. But as soon as she did that, I was like, I'm done here. And I left. I didn't come back for 10 years. But I made a complaint to the poker room manager. I sent an email to security. I'm wondering from you, I never heard anything back from anybody. I didn't expect to hear like this was our investigation or anything. But like I did expect to get some kind of an acknowledgement, like we've received this and we'll look into it. I never heard anything. Is that normal when you make that kind of complaint?
Question 1, is this an MGM property?
I thought we weren't supposed to discuss what kind of property it was.
Yeah, we're not saying what property it is.
Okay, good. Okay, so we'll just leave it as completely general property. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. I didn't want to know. I just want to know specifically if it was one of my properties. Obviously, it's something I would want to address, although this is a decade old.
Yeah,
but
this is a long time ago.
So what was your question again?
So if you send an email to security, should you expect like an acknowledgement that they received it? Or I wouldn't expect like you're ever going to hear like, this is what, we did and that kind of stuff. But I at least expected to hear like, in general, would you think like that you would get some kind of response back or no?
Sure. And yeah, of course, you should have gotten some response.
Yeah.
Even if it was a generic, thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Yeah.
We will do an internal investigation, yada, yada, so forth, boilerplate, talking points, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have gotten some type of acknowledgement just so that you know that the email was received.
Right.
What if you don't even know if someone received the email. So yeah, that's terrible not to follow up. However, there are things that we can't obviously as casino operators talk about in email and stuff like that. When it comes to investigations, of course. But yeah, some type of response would be appreciated. There's no harm in telling you that they're internally investigating.
Yeah. That's what I expected. But it was weird. I didn't hear anything back, so I didn't play at this place for a long time, and and that kind of thing. So anyway.
My guess though, Brian.
Yeah.
My guess is that letter got sent. No excuse. You should have got a response. But my guess is that letter was received by security, shipped over to casino operations, and then neither side both sides thought they were going to respond, and neither side did. But
Neither side
I've seen
did,
it in the past. But that's no excuse. That's just bad internal talking.
Yeah, and like I said, pretty weird if you're going to cheat to like check it down and show that you got pocket aces, So.
Yeah, that's a very strange play there. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I brought George up. Do you have a question for Sean or anyone else, or comments? Are you playing poker today, or what's going on, George? Press that speaker button in the bottom left. The mic is on or off button. Hello, George. Going once, going twice.
Can I, this is Catherine again. Can I actually ask a question? I really, it's something that concerns me, like in the community and stuff. And I want to know everybody's opinion. And it's kind of related to what software was just talking about is card marking. Every time I point out like marked cards, I tend to get like just my butt handed to me, and you start getting taught not to point them out. And I just really wonder, like, what's the solution for that? Like, just don't point them out, or like, because I don't like having the extra information. I don't want to know. And it's like, I don't like seeing somebody else's answers on a test. I don't want that. Like, I'm thinking about other things, but it is tilting to see it. And like, I don't know. It's just,
okay. From my point of view, as another player, I point it out every time I see one. But we also have to be recognizing that the card shufflers, I've never seen a card shuffler not make a mark in a card, but they're on every card, right?
No.
So we know that it's the machine doing it.
No, that's
but
what
if
people
you suspect,
say.
right.
But when it's
you can tell because it's in the exact same place on every card.
Because I'm not talking. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about situations where it's on every card. I'm talking about situations where like what?
Well, let me finish. Let me finish what I was going to say. So we have to know that there are marks being put on the cards by the shuffling machines, and so those are not the ones we're talking about. We're talking about a pinched corner or a bend in the card. That when the card's resting on the table, it's like a little tent, a slight tent to it, or there is a nail mark somewhere in the card. That's what we're talking about here, and 100% I report it every time. They could be mad all they want, but I'm reporting it. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with reporting it, and it could be from people marking them. It could be just the machine. Who knows? But it has no problem. Like, I don't see a problem, reporting it. But I mean, wasn't a few years ago, Sherry, that somebody at the World Series had like, these glasses and different stuff that they were marking cards and trying to do that kind of thing where they actually caught these people doing that kind of thing. So I think you should always be aware, and and a lot of times I'll even just cover up my cards. I mean, I don't know, it's not really good for the dealer. It's kind of hard for them to see that you have cards, but I don't like just leave my cards sitting out a lot of times too. So,
all right, Sean, what's your perspective from the operator point of view on that?
Anytime you see anything you think is out of line, out of sorts, not looking right, mark card or anything, report it 100% of the time. It is all of our responsibility for game protection, but it is the operator's job to keep it safe for you. And the only way they can do that is to be informed. Let them know. If the house has a problem putting in a new setup, they get huffy or anything like that, be wary. No one should be upset with changing cards. The only person who's going to really be upset, and I'm just going to say it from experience, is the dealer, because you're going to lose a hand of dealing getting a setup. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm talking to all my dealers out there, boo-hoo. If the game has to be protected above everything else. And I say that with all the love and affection, boo-hoo, because I was definitely that dealer rolling my eyes, putting up a new setup in every single time. So I get it from their perspective, but the game is more important. So, Kat, absolutely bring that up at 100% of the time.
I just want to say, sorry, Sean, it seems to be like a Q&A of asking you questions. I just want to know how your birthday went yesterday.
My birthday was great. Had a nice quiet dinner with my wife, and we spent the night on the couch watching. Here's the nerd in me. We watched the new Quantum Leap show, and we had finally caught up on the last episode of the season with our dogs hugged up on the couch, which is exactly what I need during the summer sometimes.
Oh, I didn't even realize that there were a new Quantum Leap series. That's how I've not been bothered. But yeah, I used to love Quantum Leap.
Oh, Scott Bakula, 1984 or whatever it was. I love that show. It was so great. I love that show, and I gave the new one a shot. And it's not. I won't say it's as good. It's always hard to recreate a show, but it's pretty good. It does an interesting storyline.
I'll have to get watching that then. Thanks for the thing.
Donna, have you decided on the next day or
Chapter.
date for the next chapter to be read?
No, but probably next few days I'll
Okay.
put something up.
All right, hon. You did a great job yesterday. And for those that don't know, Donna has started reading one of her childhood storybooks. And so what started out as a joke has come to fruition, and she did a great job yesterday. Tell us about what book you're reading, Donna.
It's The Enchanted Wood by Enid Blyton. It's Magic Faraway Tree series. Enid Blyton wrote over 3,000 books, and it's just such a good story. It's funny in parts. There's different characters that you get to know and love, such as Moonface, Saucepan Man, Silky, and all different kinds of things. And I just love it. And I think that if you can go back and read something in your childhood and you can actually get your children to read it too, then they'll enjoy it. They'll enjoy reading. And I really, as I said, I felt sick beforehand, but I enjoyed it. It was a drama-free space, and everybody had good things to say, had good conversations, no drama involved, and that were it.
It was tons of fun, and Donna was her stomach was upset ahead of time because she was nervous, and so she read one chapter yesterday, and she's preparing to read the next chapter, and she did a great job. And I know I speak for those that were listening. We can't wait for the next chapter, and looking forward to your post about it, Donna.
Thank you, and also thank you to Poker Karen, who actually recorded it for me.
Yeah. Yep, and was able to give Sean his birthday present from Donna.
Yeah. So, is that it, Sherry? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good, Dad. I'm good, bud.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Have a good day, everybody, and go win some poker tournaments.
Thank you,
Talk to you
everybody.
tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.